Welcome to my evil lair with a burrito and a bite. Oh, sorry, you want a bigger bite? There you go. Today I'm going to read you guys some fanfics that I've written. This fanfic is called Brothers. A sly yellow cat runs down the palace hall, and young Thor runs after it. "If I try," he says in his shrill, excited voice, "I can be a hero, ha-ha!" He sees the cat eyeing the fishbowl in their mother's chamber, and he grins. "Aha! Think you can steal our mother's pretty fish, do you, Fluffy? Well, take that, foul beast!" And he grabs a big book off her bookshelf and hurls it at the cat. A loud crash echoes down the empty halls, and Thor gulps, staring at the mess he's made. Uh-oh. He tears back down the hall, crying, "Loki! Loki!" He skids to a stop in the hall and remembers a place his brother likes to hide. Under the hall side table, he lifts the red tablecloth and crouches to peek under it. Little Loki is laying on the floor under the table, reading, with his legs propped up against the wall. "Loki?" Thor begins. "Yes?" he asks, not paying much attention to his brother, as he gets into an exciting part in the book. A favorite hero of his, Lawrence the Clever, is confronting a villain who has him wrapped in chains. "I have you now, Lawrence the Clever." The evil giant is laughing. "Yes, you have me," Lawrence is saying, in dejection. "Your brawn was too much for my mind. I suppose I shall die here." "Surely not," young Loki panics. "He must have a trick up his sleeve." He grasps the book tightly as the dialogue continues. Meanwhile, Thor weepingly tells his story of the mess he's made in their mother's chambers, and Loki responds with verbal grunts as he hears not a word his brother is saying, eyes riveted to the page. "Mm-hmm," Loki responds. "And now," little Thor moans, leaning his head back on the table, "I don't know how I shall tell her. Oh, Loki, what shall I do?" "That's nice, Thor," Loki says idly. At this point, Thor starts to wonder if Loki is paying as much attention as he first thought. In fact, he starts to wonder if he's paying attention at all. He peeks back under the tablecloth at his brother. The great giant is raising his huge spear over Lawrence the Clever as the hero cowers and trembles in fear. "This is the last day," the giant insists. "The last day that Lawrence the Clever shall draw breath." The spear is thrust down, and Lawrence screams in pain. Thor jerks Loki out from under the table by the leg, and he screams, pummeling Thor in the chest with his fists. At first, his startled mind imagines that he's Lawrence the Clever, pummeling the great giant with punches. But once he realizes it's Thor, he doesn't bother to stop. Thor looks at him tiredly, holding him up by his leg and glaring sarcastically at his attempted assault. "Don't do that, Thor," Loki whines, crossing his arms and giving up the attack. "You nearly gave me a heart attack. Don't you ever interrupt me in the middle of a book again, do you hear?" "Yes, I hear. I can hear fine," Thor grumbles, sighing and pouting. "But you're the one who didn't hear. I was telling you an important story." "Fine, what?" Loki moans as Thor half drops, half sets him down, head first against the wall. He picks up his book again and begins reading where he left off, propped against the wall where Thor dropped him. "Well, it went like this," Thor begins. Then he frowns and yanks Loki's book away. "Don't read while I'm talking to you. It's not nice." Loki grumbles and crosses his arms. "Who says I was nice?" "Well, this is how it went," Thor begins, scooting closer to Loki. "I wanted to be noble." "How kind of you." "Don't interrupt," Thor corrects. "That's not nice either." "I hardly think lifting your brother by the leg is the height of society." "Shh," Thor insists. "Now, I wanted to be noble. So I was chasing this cat." Little Loki looks confused. "I'm sorry, chasing a cat?" "Yes, so, like, A small feline with a tail and whiskers. That's the general definition of a cat, little Thor roars. Loki blinks and pulls his head back. No need to shout, I was just checking. But Thor doesn't let him finish. So I saw the small, evil cat about to pounce on Mother's fish, so I threw a book at it. A book? Loki jumps to his feet. Yes, that's what I said, Thor insists. Then he cocks his head. You ought to have Mother check your ears. My ears are fine, Loki promises, stalking urgently towards his golden-haired brother. But how, in the name of Odin? Shh, Thor insists, looking reproachfully at his brother, who doesn't heed. Did you dare throw a book? And he waves his book before Thor's face. You could have ruined it! Thor is taken aback. Loki is usually so calm and serene. Why on earth would he lose it over something as stuffy and commonplace as a boring old book? It was just a dumb old book. Who cares? Thor laughs. Loki slaps a hand to his face. Thor is hopeless. But anyway, and Thor's small voice quivers. Loki still holds his hand over his face and is reluctant to take it off. It broke Mother's vase. Thor sounds positively cute now, and Loki knows that if he takes his hand off his face, he will see the puppy eyes. He doesn't want to help his brother, who is stupid enough to chase cats and ruin perfectly good books by throwing them at fish bowls. But he looks at last, and there are those puppy eyes. Thor has even managed a few tears. Loki throws his head back and moans. Ugh, fine. He takes Thor's hand and pulls him down the hall. Oh, yay! Thor laughs. I know you can fix it. At least, I hope you can fix it. He scratches his chin. You can fix it, right? What if you can't and Mother sees? She'll never want to speak to me again. Or worse, maybe she'll take away my new horse and I just got it. I already thought of a name for it and everything. Loki could console his brother with the assurance that he knew he could fix it, but it was much more fun to hear him get worked into a knot over something. A little anxiety will do the kid good, he thinks, until they reach the shattered fishbowl and ripped curtains, not to mention sopping wet book. I think we can fix this, Loki surmises. But not before Mother comes in. What if she comes in now or a second from now? What are we gonna do? Little Loki grins. Be clever. Frigga hears a lot of loud arguing and sighs. Not the boys again. Those two. Slowly she climbs the stairs to her chamber, expecting to find them in some great quarrel. Instead, they sit with their backs to her fishbowl, reading. Loki holds the book, and Thor sits beside him with his arm over his shoulder, reading along. Well, that's a shocker. First time for everything, she thinks, walking on down to the stables to take a ride. As soon as she leaves, Loki lets his illusion of the fixed table go and shrugs Thor's arm off his shoulder. Thor doesn't mind, but jumps up off the floor and dances around Loki. Whoopee! She'll never know! She'll never know! I knew you could do it! I knew it! And you'll be even better at fixing the real thing. Hey, Loki snorts, handing Thor the wet book. I don't get paid enough to do all the dirty work. You clean up. Aw, but Loki, you'd be so good at it. Nope, he won't listen to flattery. He opens his book as he walks away, excited to see what will happen. The giant raises his spear and drives it towards Lawrence the Clever, who screams, Loki! Loki halts and looks back where Thor is grinning. I'll let you hold my hammer. Not funny, Thor, he snorts. Okay, fine. I'll fail my test on purpose, so everyone will give you high scores. You don't do that already? Okay, I'll let you beat me at fighting. Loki freezes. In front of Dad, Thor insists. Loki turns slowly. Swear? Thor grins, overjoyed to see that he got Loki on his side at last. I swear, I swear, I swear! Then he laughs as the smiling Loki lifts the curtains to see how to fix them. Woohoo! Thor laughs, bouncing next to Loki. So, I don't have to do that anytime soon, do I? I want Mother and Father to think I'm the best until I get my new sword. Then you can be the best. Sometime this month, Loki clarifies, lifting his mother's sewing supplies and threading the needle. Well, how much do I have to lose? Thor mutters. Just sort of slip and hit my head? You have to make it look like I won, Loki insists, stitching the curtain carefully. And tell no one. But I could tell Mom, right? What? No, I told you no one. Oh. Thor thinks about this for a minute. Well, I can tell Civ, right? And the gang? No. They're like us. Come on, Loki. They're like us. They're practically family. I said no, Thor. Well, how would I tell Hamdil, huh? He wouldn't tell. Thor, no. No means no. I guess that's hard to understand the word when you've never heard it before. I've heard no, Thor mutters, circling Loki as he works. No interrupting. No yelling while I'm reading. No punching. No hitting. No, no, no. You're the king of no. Why do you have to be so negative? Okay. Loki slowly begins. Yes, you may never tell anyone that I didn't actually win, see? I can be positive if I want to. Yeah, right, Thor mopes. Loki ties off the end of his thread and bites the end off. How about if I tell them later? Or I could just hint at it. How about if I just write it down? That wouldn't technically be telling, just showing. Loki rolls his eyes. No, Thor. Well, that's the end of that fanfic. And tell me what you thought about that in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And subscribe if you want to see more artsy, nerdy stuff by moi. We are epic heroes. Love you guys. Bye. Thor laughs, bouncing. All you have to do is do a nationwide burrito ban, and that will also take care of the obesity epidemic. I mean, killing more than one bird with less than one stone, or a stone even.